Hey everyone, back with another video talking geeky stuff. Yeah, so I had this, nearly 24 hours now, and playing around with it, and I'm going to give you a quick overview, like I said in my previous video. Nothing like benchmarking, nothing like that, just a regular person, regular stuff. Starting off, one thing I do like, the screen is really good, and one thing that they changed, the fingerprint. Before the Z50 Pro was pretty down here, but this time it's in a manageable place. You can see if I switch it off, right there, much easier. Before it was like down there. Hope you like my wallpaper. In my previous video I said this button here, or this slider, was this one here was a notification. It is, and it's also not. It was defaulted at like when you switch it on, the cameras come up. You can actually change it. Settings. So I put Novo Launch. I always like Novo Launch as my launcher because I like my simple, very simple desktop. There's no other screen, just one screen. I can flick it up and get my apps, or I can just go to the app drawer, get my apps. You can actually set this as swiping up and down gestures, or like me, you can put in those the on-screen buttons, which I prefer. Maybe I'm not old school because I remember when I got into Android many years ago, this was my layout, and I probably stuck with it since. So I like my desktop or my user interface very simple. And just a couple of things I use. These apps are the main ones I use. Here you got some of the stuff I use as well. It's iOS 14 over Android 14. If you can't find it, there's always a search bar at the top there. So if I was going to write down slide switch, as you can see here, you can actually change what the slide is about. You can add motion sensors, or motion, gesture motion, system navigation, switching slides. This is what I did. So you can see all the settings here. So it defaulted at this first, open camera. And if you play games, so it just takes you to game space, almost like the Pro 9 or the Pro 8. Flashlight, video, voice recording. Me, I just keep it here, nice and simple. But this is just your usual Android. It's pretty clean. I don't mind it, but like I said, I put Novo Launcher on it. But the main thing I got this for is because of the camera. As you can see, I put the case on. It's not the best case. It does a job. I mean, like I said, one thing I loved about Chinese companies is they do include a lot of stuff in the box, like chargers, power supply, a case, for example. I mean, what is it nowadays? You've got Apple, they barely give you anything nowadays. They charge you like 2 to 3 times as much of, so give them that credit. So at least you got a decent, I mean, not the best, but does its job. And now let's go into the camera. That's one of the reasons why I got a camera. One thing about the camera is, as you can see, whoops, when I can focus, it defaults at 35mm, 18mm, or 85mm. One good thing about this is, unlike before, you can actually double tap it. If I double tap it here, you can go to 50mm. If I go to 18, you can double tap it and go to 24. That's more closer to the more modern, not modern, the normal cameras like your iPhones and so on, right? You got 85, and then you got up to 170 for the periscope. You can actually default it if you go into the settings here. You've got so many cool things like all the cameras modules here, 1, 2, 3 has OIS as default. So all the cameras, and that's one thing I think about Nubia I think they really did was each camera is unique, and they're all different, they look different, they all kind of do different things, which there's a lot of, I think it's a great attention to detail. Of course, the main camera is the 35mm with the red accent. get back into that. As you can see here, let me just get this up with the video footage. And if I put it to video, for example, they all do up to 4K, 30, 60 and 120 frames. Okay, for all of them, you can see I'm switching between them all. They all do it. The only one that does 8K and 30 frames per second is the main 35mm, which is actually pretty good. They all, like I said, all have OIS on it. Pretty cool. And this one, you got standard, like anti-shaking standard. They all have that. But if you go to super, the only one that does that is 18mm, and only 1080p. That's what it does. Yeah, I'll show you footage of what I went to the park today, captured some footage on photos and videos. I'll show you that in a sec. Yeah, move over to the footage. I'll see you guys later. So I forgot to mention one more thing before I go into the footage of photos and videos. If you go into the camera setting, you can actually default the lens. At the moment it's on 35mm, which is the main camera. You can actually set this up to 18, 24, 35, 85. For people who are used to the 24, which is, like I said, more standard, you can always switch it off. But the other cameras are still really good. You can see from the footage later on, but I just kept it at 35mm. At first, I was a bit skeptical about 35mm because of my Z50 Pro. I'm plugging my channel here. If you want to check some of the photos I took, just go into my channel and look at my vlog when I was in Penang, Malaysia, and I took loads of pictures there, and 35mm really, I really got used to it. So, and you know, and the reason why I didn't turn this on, because as I mentioned just before, you can go into the cameras, you can just double tap it or tap it again, it goes to back and forth between the lens and noise. That's the reason why I just kept it at 35mm. So yeah, anyway, to the footage. It's just cold. Hey everyone, so this is the selfie. It's not the best, it is on the display. A link is here 5th generation, but still not as good as like mid-range hole punch. But you know, I'm not too fussed. I don't like taking pictures of myself, and I'm not a selfie person, so it's not bad. It's not amazing. Probably the best under display camera available in the market anyway. So yeah, well, it is, isn't it?
I'm in a bad place.
That was pretty loud, I gotta say. It does get, when I put it like play regular music, just pop music, a bit hip hop, I do notice when I put it loud, you do hear some kind of like noise. Sometimes it kind of doesn't sound so clear. Again, that's probably with most speakers, but overall it's actually pretty loud. I don't think, well, I mean, my bedroom's pretty small, I can hear from the other side, and I think that it's as good, if not better, than my last two Nubias. So yeah, pretty good. Like I said, if you switch it too loud, it echoes and it kind of sounds a bit noisy. Um, yeah, great sound. As you can see, battery levels 68%. I think I up charged this last night about 10:30 give or take. After setting up, doing the video, downloading things, playing around with it, I charged it 100%, and I kept it from 10 o'clock to now, and doing all this test, doing this video. I still got 80%. So this is a 6,000 milliamp battery, and yeah, so 68% left. You can easily, that is what is it now? 850. What is the zoom in? 850. So nearly 24 hours. Nearly 24 hours. What is it? 23 hours or so. 68%. So that's really good battery. Hope you enjoyed those video footages and photos and all that stuff. So my final thoughts after 24 hours. I actually really do like this phone. It's I would say definitely the best camera phone I had. I can't really compare it to Samsung's or Apple. I don't have them. Like I said so many times, I like to keep my phones in the kind of in the mid-range budget, like 500 to 700 pounds. It all started with the Nexus, then the OnePlus, now Nubia. You know, I know there's a few issues. Some people still think that they don't get a lot of updates, but when I got this phone set up, there was an update straight away. And just like my Z50 Pro, there was a consistent update. It may not last more than 2 years, but that's fine by me. Like I said, I change my phones every 6 to 12 months anyway. So for people like myself and other people who does the same, no big deal, right? But for people who keeps the phone for at least 3, maybe 4 years, 5 years, maybe this is not their kind of phone, because I don't think you get anything after 2 years. But who knows? Nubia is definitely improving. I do really like this. Sounds good. I like the build. I know that I heard a few people on YouTube say they want it a bit more curvier, but I like the square design. They say it's a bit heavy, but you know what? I like a bit of weight in my things. I don't know why. I'm not a big fan of anything light. I think having just the right weight, what's this, a 245, 46 grams, give or take. I really do like it. It's definitely the best camera phone I had. Unfortunately, I did some 4K, 1080p. You couldn't tell the difference because this is YouTube, unfortunately. But I can tell you it's actually really good. The only issue is the 8K 30 frames is a bit jittery, I'll say. But, I mean, really, 1080p, 4K, 60 frames, 120 frames is more than enough. I really do like this. And, like I said, I got this for £669 because I got it, pre-ordered it 23rd of December last year, and there was an £80 voucher. I still think even as a £749 is still really worth it. I really do like this phone. So yeah, let me know what you think. Until next time, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're in the world, and please do stay safe. Until next time, goodbye.